Your Honor, I, Ahmad Aiman Ash'ari bin Ghazali, appear in this case for the plaintiff, Miss Gaya, and my friend on the other side, Muhammad Adam bin Alias, will appear for the defendant. This is the case between Saudah and Gaya, which Gaya as a plaintiff and Saudah as the defendant. The case is about the defendant, Saudah, who was instructed by my client Gaya to find a double-story house within Klang Valley for a price not more than 500,000 ringgit. But the defendant then found a single-story bungalow worth 700,000 ringgit in Kampung Jawa, Klang. And the best part is, without informing my client, the defendant agreed with the seller, Pak Kasim, by paying a deposit of 1,000 ringgit. In this case, my client can sue the defendant because the defendant is clearly in breach of trust and has intention to cheat my client, who is ignorant in law by way in making a secret negotiation without the knowledge of my client, and this is against the buyer's instruction. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I am Muhammad Adam, representing the defendant, Ms. Saada. In this case, after hearing from the plaintiff side, we plead not guilty in this case. This is because my client did not make any secret profit and did not have an intention to cheat the defendant. To deny more, the plaintiff's allegation, my client used the money to deposit for the house, and there is no secret profit happen there.
Objection, Your Honor.
Wait, Mr. Aiman. Let Mr. Adam finish his argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thus, to further strengthen my argument, my client paid the house based on the buyer approval. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I also denying the fact by the defendant because the agent is clearly in breach of trust and she failed to perform her duty as an agent appointed by my client. This is because there is no written instruction by the plaintiff, neither verbally nor in writing instruction. My client just asked the defendant to find a single-story house for a price not more than 500,000 ringgit. And upon knowing the price of the property, the plaintiff refused to go on with the defendant contract with the third party, since the price of 700,000 ringgit is not within my client affordability. Moreover, the money is straightly going into the defendant account, so there is a secret profit happens there. Thank you, Your Honor.
Honor, let me read you the definition of the duty to a principal. The duty is to obey principal instruction unless the unlawful act according to custom. And in my case, Saudah did not obey the order to find a beautiful bungalow in Klang. As asked by Gaya, she did not commit any crime and the money is used to deposit to the house in a sign to the Pak Kasim that she agreed to buy the house.
Profit or acquire any benefit in the course and in the matter of his agency without the knowledge and consent of his principal is the definition of secret profit, Your Honor. Relating to our case, Gaya asked her agent, Saudah, to find a double-story house within Klang Valley for a price not more than 500,000 ringgit. But unfortunately, Saudah then breaks the contract by found a single-story bungalow worth 700,000 ringgit and then make a secret profit with the third person without my client's knowledge. This is stated in Section 169 Contract Act 1950. If an agent, without the knowledge of his principal, deals in the business of his agency on his own account instead of on account of his principal, the principal is entitled to claim from the agent any benefit which may have resulted to him from the transaction. In our case, if the defendant, without the knowledge of my client, deals in the business of the contract on his own account instead of on my client's account, The plaintiff, as the principal, is entitled to claim from the defendant any benefits which may have resulted to her from the transaction. Thank you, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. My client is not guilty. Based on Section 164 Contract Act 1950 also has stated that an agent is bound to conduct the business of his principal according to the direction given by principal, or in the absence of any such direction, according to conduct the business. When the agents act otherwise, if any loss be sustained, he must make it good to his principal, and his any profit accrues, he must account for it. And in our case, my client did not commit any crime. She obeys the order that have been given by the plaintiff with full commitment, and did not make a secret profit with Pak Kasim. Instead, the money is used to deposit the house. According to the Turpin vs. Bilton 1843, an insurance broker agreed to consideration to obtain a contract of insurance of plaintiff ships, but he failed to do so. The ship has lost, and the broker was held liability to the plaintiff. In this case, based on the case that I read, my client did her job to find beautiful single-story bungalow in Klang, as asked by plaintiff. She did not commit any crime, and the money is used to deposit to the house as a sign to Pak Kasim that she agreed to buy the house. The money can be considered as a commission for my client because she already find the plaintiff a house. Thank you, my honor.
I object the statement by the defendant, Your Honor. According to the case between Andrews v. Ramsey and Co., 1903 2 KB 635, related on our case, my client asked her agent, the plaintiff, to find a double-story house within Klang Valley for a price not more than 500,000 ringgit. But in return, the defendant then breaks the contract and then make a secret profit with the third person without my client's knowledge. Here shows that my client can sue both the defendant and Pak Kasim for a breach of trust, and she failed to perform her duty as an agent. Thank you, Your Honor.
Honor, I refuse the agreement for the plaintiff. I still stand with my statement that this case my client is not guilty and cannot be sued since the plaintiff did not make secret profit. This is because Saoda only paid for the house deposit, and my client had done her job committedly.
Objection, Your Honor. My client is the victim in this case, and the plaintiff is suing the defendant since the defendant is clearly in breach of trust and clearly has intention to cheat my client. This will give a lesson for the defendant in the future. It is up to you, Your Honor, to determine the right and wrong considering this case fairly. In conclusion, in this case, the plaintiff can sue the defendant because the defendant did make a secret profit of 1,000 ringgit by dealing with Pak Kasim without my client's knowledge. Based on Section 169 Contract Act 1950 as stated, in our case, if the defendant, without the knowledge of my client, deals in the business of the contract on his own account instead of the defendant account, my client, as the principal, is entitled to claim from the defendant any benefits which may have resulted to her from the transaction. Based on Andrew v. Ramsey and Co. 1903 2 KB 635 case, related in our case, my client asked the defendant to find a double-story house within Klang Valley for a price not more than 500,000 ringgit. But in return, the defendant breaks the contract and then make a secret profit with the third person without my client's knowledge. Here shows that we can sue the defendant for breaking the contract and commit a bribery. In these circumstances, we, the plaintiff, ask the court to order the defendant to refund the sum of 1,000 ringgit to my client. Thank you, Your Honor.
On my side, my conclusion is in the case the plaintiff cannot sue my client since the defendant did not make secret profit. This is because the defendant only paid for the house deposit based on Section 164 Contract Act 1950. In our case, defendant did not commit any crime. She obeyed the order that have been given by plaintiff with full commitment and did not make a secret profit, which Pak Kasim. Instead, the money is used to deposit into the house. In my case, based on the Tropin vs. Bilton 1853 case, the defendant did her job to find a beautiful single-story bungalow in Klang. As asked by plaintiff, she did not commit any crime and the money is used to deposit the house as a sign to Pak Kasim that she agreed to buy the house. The money can be considered as a commission for my client because she already find the defendant a house. In this case, my client is not guilty, as what has been told by plaintiff, and we that the defendant asked the court for the heinous judgment for decades. Thank you, my honor.
I will tell the result after 5-minute breaks. After hearing from the both sides, the court found the defendant is guilty, and the court asked the defendant to pay the sum that the defendant received to the plaintiff. Dismiss.